Charley Walters. You'll recognize the name, having covered the sports market here in the Twin Cities for the last 35 years, but long before he was a sports writer for the St. Paul Pioneer Press, he was a Twins fan growing up in the Twin Cities and had a chance to watch the great Harmon Killebrew play as a fan and watch him on the biggest stage in baseball, the World Series.
Well, Anthony, we were all Harmon Killebrew fans. We're all baseball friends. I was from a working neighborhood in northeast Minneapolis, and in high school in 1965 when the Twins and Harmon played the Dodgers here at Metropolitan Stadium out in Bloomington, where Roy played. And then 4 years later, to get a chance to be a teammate of Harmon Killebrew is just surreal, bigger than life, unbelievable, really. And here we are right now with Harmon.
What was that like, Charlie? You're the working class kid. You watch him, you idolize him. 4 years after you signed, after watching him, you get to the as a kid. You walk in the clubhouse in spring training, and there you are with Harmon. What was that like?
You know, I remember Charlie Manuel, who's now the manager. Charlie was a rookie too, and we were in the outfield there in Ticker Field in Orlando, Florida, in spring training, and seeing Harmon doing this wind sprints behind us. I remember Manuel coming up and saying, "Look how big the guy is. He's only 5'11", but he looked like a rhinoceros, you know, and the big arms and the legs and everything." I remember we looked at the thing, and to be up that close, you know, and then be in the locker room. I used to go by his locker room just to watch him in the locker room and see how he acted. So just to get close to the guy, because that was his greatness was magnetic, and to be able to just be around him. And as I was mentioning you guys earlier, when we broke camp, Billy Martin was the manager, and there were 25 guys on the roster, and Harmon, of course, was number 1, the unofficial captain of the team, and I knew for sure that I was number 25. And the thing about Harmon, though, is he'd welcome you to the club. "My name's Harmon Killebrew." He'd introduce himself to you, and I'd say, "Yeah, I think
As if he needed to.
I think I know who you are." And he'd introduce you, and he'd wish you the best, and then they get play alongside of the guy in the clubhouse, and I'd watch him all the time. Billy would come in, the manager, and consult with Harmon. I'd see him back in his locker, and I know that he was taking the pulse of the club and so on. So he was like an official captain playing. But it was beyond. You know, another thing too that I might mention is when I went to 4 major league spring training camps, and you threw a lot of batting practice, and you know, you'd see the protector out in front of you, to protect the guys when they're throwing batting practice. Sure. And in my 4 major league spring trainings, guys, it was you know, there were 3 guys who I feared. I never got to face Roy, so he wasn't in that category. That would have been 4. But there was Frank Howard from the Washington Senators, and there was Mike Epstein, and there was Harmon. And those guys hit the ball so hard that you throw and duck, and you figure that ball would come right back through the screen. And the guy who hit him more than anybody else, of course, harder than anybody else, was Harmon.